Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about a trade that we should have really aced, and we did alright on, but we did not ace by any means. We're going to be talking about what we did wrong, what we should have done better, and how you can identify these trade setups in the future. So let's get started. So this is a gap up fade, one of my favorite types of trades, especially when it's right off the open like this one was. This one was on IGO. So, of course, no financial advice. What's a gap up fade? Stock gaps up a large amount and it starts to show signs of weakness, right? So you can't just enter on the match. Usually you have to wait a bit. But this one, maybe you could have. I'll show you. I have some tape saved that we're going to go through together. And so how's the extra position? Rallied on open, but has recently found a level. So what's the catalyst? So they have a progress report on transaction completion, specifically to do with a joint venture in a new lithium venture, sorry. And so how important would you rate the catalyst? Maybe a 4 out of 5. So the stock, yesterday's closing price was 608 and the gap up was 9.2%. The short float is 0.48%. The shares on issue is 760 million. The ATR is 28 cents, and the sector is materials. And so let's get into this trade. So the daily positioning. So the stock was it kind of made a little bit of a double top on the daily, but nothing too serious. We hadn't seen any intense move down from it or anything yet. So kind of range bound, but there's been in the small downtrend, I guess, as of the recent couple of weeks, but barely anything. But it has had very impressive growth since December last year, where it had the big gap up, and then since then has still come up a bit from the original price it gapped up to, which was about $6. So talking about the intraday chart now, so this is the important part. So I'm going to talk about what we did, what we should have done, and what we could have done better. So first of all, what we did, right? So the first trade that I took was here. It was on this small little pivot candle. As this red candle started to develop, I went short. Why did I go short? First of all, there was the tape. Second of all, the pullback from it seemed a bit light for the kind of pullback that we want to see on something that's going to re-break view up. The stock showed instant weakness, and we're going to be getting into the tape on what I mean by that in a second. But you can see that when it comes up here, it doesn't want to break up any higher. The sellers are holding it down here. Every time that it wicks over, they hold it back down. So we entered our short here, risking off view up basically. So pretty wide risk, but I knew with this kind of stock, because I've traded this stock before, that that's the kind of risk you got to have. And so anyway, so then when it started to move, I added around here, just on the break. And then I exited partial down here, and more as it started to come up, so more around here. Then I tried re-entering short here on this little candle there, cut it straight away because I realized it wasn't dropping, and then re-entered short around here, but cut way too early over here. Then I tried to go long over here, as I thought that the level was holding. But this is where we should have done it better, because I've seen this set up so many times. Clearly, there was just a bit of a mental block today. So we're going to be talking about what actually happened, right? So first of all, you have to understand that we were talking. A couple of people were talking, and a couple of us were talking about how, it's filled quite a bit of the gap, and we could see some upside at some point. In truth, time of day and the setup was clearly to the short side. For at least a few more pips. It's not huge what you missed out on, but it's what we were looking for, right? Because we sized in here a little, cut as it started to come back up and stuff like that. So really the main point being that this setup, when it's grinding along the level, making lower highs, it's weak. And you want to size in on the confirmation, not on here. Right? I mean, you could, but really the hold where you want to size in on. Then you have this kind of double bottom, volume capitulation just isn't there, but you can see that this candle that barely moved, had a little bit of volume. You know, point being that we should have really got that, the whole move, because that's just another reason to go short. I'm going to talk about the tape for a second. So I'm bringing your attention now to what weakness looks like on the match. And so first of all, I want to show, right? So it's gapping up to 803, 804, and it starts to come down pretty quickly. You know, the buyers are pulling back, the sellers are starting to step in. Sellers are realizing, okay, this is a good price for this stock, you know. And just as it opens, you get these instant buy orders come in, but the sellers just start to eat it, and then there's no more buys. You know, for quite a while, there's no more buys. The buyers have stepped back. They have no interest in buying the stock up here. And so, you know, there's just some small little flusher orders, nothing big to make you think that it's going to go any other way. Here is where you get that kind of pullback a little bit, yeah. But, you know, even that wasn't that intense. You know, so that's that kind of weakness. You know, sometimes you see this where it's quite clear on the tape what it's going to do straight on the match. I don't usually take too many trades on the match. I'm not the best match trader, but you know, you could have seen it with this one just because it started gapping up, started to edge down really quickly into the match, and then suddenly there was some sellers just wanting to hit out. But yeah, so very interesting tape, very interesting stock. Definitely should have hit it properly. Definitely should have been able to get this trade on. The way that we really should have traded it is, you know, just straight hitting the level and then sizing up into these candles, or hitting these candles first, even if you wanted to, you know, if you didn't want to try and preemptively get the move, and then sizing as it starts to fall, hitting as it holds below, exiting as it starts to look like it's turning, adding back as it just wicks to V up and can't break it, and then finally, you know, adding a little bit here just for a little scalp. But yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.